every single day, day in, day out, no missed meals. In fact, I can look you in the eyes and tell you I never missed a meal. I never missed a cardio session. And I can tell you this right now, that in every diet that my coach gave me, I followed it to the T. No gram more, no gram less.
One of the most fascinating parts of when I interviewed Jay was him talking about the food. And for people who are not familiar with bodybuilding, you have a super physiological level of muscle. In order to do that, you have to feed it at outrageous levels. And when I say outrageous, at some point he is buying entire cows when he's living back in Massachusetts, and he's butchering the entire cow. And then there's other situations where he's eating several dozen eggs a day. He told me afterwards, he goes, one of the things I regret is that I don't enjoy food anymore. He's like, now in his later life, there's no like chicken fried steak or pie or anything like he really enjoys. And I'm curious, what is your journey? Because I mean, one of the things is to look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's another thing once you realize it's like 24 egg whites. What is this introduction to this level of eating like for you?
So I get a lot of questions from these young guys. Oh, I want to be, the next Mr. Olympia. And I can see straight away, there's no way you're going to do it in your current lifestyle.
Yeah.
You don't eat, you don't live the lifestyle. You truly have to become a monk. And there's nobody that was more of a monk than Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing but eat, sleep, and train. Eat, sleep, train.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, and train.
The stories were outrageous. The stuff that he told me he would eat, it was crazy. The number of carbs and protein he would eat per day. You were saying you were like, you had one guy on your show was like 300 grams of protein a meal. You understand? People are getting the advice right now, if they weigh 170 pounds, to eat 170 grams of protein. This dude is eating 6 meals a day at 300 grams a meal.
So there's a lot of bro science that are out there, and I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of fucking hate the internet in some regards. Because anybody can become an expert right now, right? You have a philosophy, you put a mic in front of you, you talk, somebody on the other side of the world is going to take that as the gospel.
Sure.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of damage that's been done from that. With guys like Jay, who is, a businessman, first things foremost, he's seen this as a business. Eating was a business. And thankfully, I obviously have had my coach, which I'll talk about later on, but he told me that, if we can grow on X, Y, Z and you follow this plan, and consistency is key. And that is the bottom line of bodybuilding. Consistency. Live the monk lifestyle. Every day is as consistent as the one before and the one before that. That's how you make steps. And my meal plans were designed really where I had 6 meals.
Okay.
And when I was trying to get up into the weight class, I'd have 6 meals, and then I'd set my alarm every single night, and I'd have to zombie myself to the fridge, drink this heavy, dense protein shake, which had like oats in it, which you can imagine had already swollen up. And I had to film myself every fucking night and send it to my coach because he was in the UK.
Yeah.
Just to prove that I was eating that last meal.
Yeah.
Every single night. So I would take a picture, and of course, it's in the complete black. My eyes are like this, and I'm drinking this shake every single night. In fact, when I started dating my wife, first of all, she was like, who the hell is this guy that wants you to take a photo at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
And of course, listen, going back to the story, but the meal quantities during that time, I struggled. So a lot of the times I blended my meals.
Could you give the audience an idea, like the number of carbs, protein, fat, and what are these 6 meals going to be?
So
like?
it wasn't 300 grams per meal, but it was probably, I said total consumption during then was probably about 350 grams of protein, which doesn't sound a lot, but it is a lot.
I mean, that's more than twice your, a little less than more than twice your body weight at that point. Yeah.
So you got like a steak, which is about 50, right?
Yeah.
So I'm eating steak, eggs, chicken, turkey, all quality foods. And then my carbohydrates are coming from at that time were fruits, oatmeal, rice, sweet potatoes, and then you had vegetables on top for digestion. And that is every single day, day in, day out, no missed meals. In fact, I can look you in the eyes and tell you I never missed a meal. I never missed a cardio session. And I can tell you this right now, that in every diet that my coach gave me, I followed it to the T. No gram more, no gram less. I would weigh it out because, listen, for me, I took this so seriously that if I had something on the weigh-in scale that said, it was 250 grams I had to weigh in, and it was 252, put something in, oh, it's over, put something out. That's how crazy
for sure.
I was. I weighed everything to the T, and people probably listening, it's like, that is no fucking, I was that guy. I was that guy. And suffice to say, obviously, it got me to where it is, but there's not once during that time that I ever thought about cheating on my diet either. My coach, his name's Neil Hill, and I could talk about that if you want.
Yeah, please.
So I was doing the Mr. Wales show.
Yeah.
And how I got into doing bodybuilding in the first place was for a free gym membership.
Yeah.
So I seen this poster on the wall, and I'll cut a lot of the story out, but the gym owner said, if you do this show, I'll give you a free gym membership. Growing up in my town, you know, rugby was the sport I was playing at the time. I was like, how hard can this be? I'd done so many different sports, track and field in the summer, rugby in the winter, done a little boxing. I was like, how hard can this be? The biggest thought that held me back was getting up on stage in a pair of Speedos and putting gravy browning all over me.
Yeah, of course. I think about that now. Yeah.
But nonetheless, I thought, if I can get this free gym membership, oh my gosh, I'll save so much money.
Yeah.
Little did I know it was going to cost me more to get up on that bloody stage with the food. But I was so committed at that time. I bought the Flex magazine from the local newsagent, flicked through it, found somebody's diet was 300 pounds. I dissected it. Okay, this guy is eating 500 grams of protein. I'm going to eat whatever. And I set out to chase this crazy poster of having a free gym membership. Fast forward, I was living hell. I remember to this day, that was the hardest diet.
Yeah.
Because I had no carbs. In fact, you know, you've got the bro science guys, you've got the gym guys too, who know everything, right? You probably know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
You know? Everybody's got them guys in the gym. Well, I would just ask, like, I haven't had any carbs for a couple of days. Oh, I have a baked potato. How many? Have two. So I was like, okay, some just guys in the gym. So I got to the show literally on this Flex magazine and random people and offering my advice. And then fast forward, I get up on that stage and I won the show. I'm walking out to the parking lot and this gentleman follows me out. And there's my mother and father with a big bag of chocolates, because I loved chocolate back then. Playing rugby, I would consume so much. Started pulling these fucking wrappers out, eating the chocolate bars, and this guy comes and says, hey, you need to compete in the British Nationals. And I was like, all respects, I know who you are, because I love bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I was following it at that point in time. You should compete. He gave this whole Braveheart speech, minus the horse and the face paint, and he said that you should do it, compete and represent your country, of course. Represent your country is a badge of honor.
Of course.
Kind of my mindset. I look at my parents, they're like, okay, how long is this going to be? And then he asked me, who done your diet? I told him. He couldn't believe it. He honestly thought I was lying. So he said, I will help you get through these next 4 or 6 weeks, whatever it was. But I want to see you on Monday. So this was Saturday. Come Monday, I had put on 20 pounds.
Wow.
I ate everything and anything. I looked like I'd never even stepped foot in a gym. My face was like this. I was swollen. I was huffing up. I couldn't tie my shoelace, man. That's how much weight I'd put on, edema out the ass. And I go into this guy's house, and first thing he says, what the fuck has happened to you, mate? I was like, I didn't know nothing about a rebound.
Yeah.
And that is obviously a big detrimental thing in the sport when you go from being so strict and then, you know, just popping the cap.
Yeah, you go party the day after you compete. I know some female influencers who've done it. One drink, they're just drunk off their ass, and they eat any carbs and they just blow up. Yeah.
Well, on that note, you know, I can't even get fucking drunk now.
Huh? You can't?
No, my metabolism is it just, I would love to, if my wife was here, we've been together for 11 years, she's never seen me drunk.
Wow.
Going back to the subject though.
Yeah.
Welcome to a podcast with Flex Lewis, by the way.
Yeah.
ADHD out the ass. I went to the British, went to the Niels, he put a little diet together and he had me doing pausing every single night, which was crazy. I mean, the pausing is harder than training.
Yeah.
If you're holding, just to give you an idea, if you're holding a pause like this for about 30 seconds, and for everyone who's listening, I'm doing like a most muscular, a front double bicep, and you got to hold that for a minute. That is tough.
Yeah.
It's harder than doing a heavy set in the gym. Yeah. Just holding and tensing everything. I had to do several different rounds every single night. And the girl I was with at the time thought I was absolutely batshit crazy. She had no clue about the sport. And I remember staying in her parents' house and just doing these poses every single night in her parents' house, and her parents thinking, what the hell is this guy you with, doing all these weird poses at night? But anyway, suffice to say, about 4 or 5 weeks later, I stepped on stage at the British Nationals, the exact same weight, completely different look. And that's where I won the British as an under-21 bodybuilder. Now, in that era, you compete up until 20, and then as soon as you turn 21, you have to go into the Masters class. So I won that show a year young, so I had another year left. And that's where myself and Neil started teaming up together, and we went on the road and Rampage. I can't remember what the hell the question you asked me.
Well, I was asking about it was a food. It was actually a food question.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you later on in your life, you hire GI doctors to help you. The reason why I'm asking is selfishly because I have a similar issue. There's some foods I eat, and I want to go to sleep. Like I have no energy. I didn't eat today until 6 p.m. Like I did the intermittent fasting thing because I was up to 237 and I wanted to get down to about 210. So I just eat twice a day and I try to push my first meal back as far as I can. And one of the things that I've noticed is that as I get older and as I eat better, when I eat shitty, it just like my stomach expands and I just want to go to sleep. And I just like, I don't want people to fucking talk to me. It's just so different. And I'm just, when you talk about eating 6 meals a day and you said you had issues with your GI tract, what was that all about? Is it because of the eating or was it just like a genetic thing?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't have as much GI issues until I came to the United States.
Oh, because the food here maybe?
The food in the UK, especially in Wales, is fresh from farm to plate. So even you go to the local supermarket, you know that it's coming from either a local farm or within in a certain area. So when I came to the United States and I got signed up by, when I came to the United States and I started trying all these different protein powders and pre-workouts and stuff, and you know they've got so much different dyes and flavorings and stuff like that. That's when my GI issues really spiked up, and it was, that's what retired me.
The GI stuff.
The GI issues.
Because you couldn't keep up with the eating.
Yeah.
Along with it. Yeah.
And over the years, thankfully I've got all this stuff on record because I filmed the majority of my pro shows. You'll see that I suffered with all GI issues. The amount of food that I had to eat, and what's a GI doctor going to tell you straight away? All right, back up off your food, maybe eat 1 meal a day. I'm sorry, this is my job.
You can't do that.
I'm consuming 6 meals a day. So I had to wake up every single day, nauseous, every single day, and then find a way of putting that first meal in, my second meal in.
Crazy.
And I'd throw up. I'd keep on going. The mindset I had to convince myself as to why I wanted to do this whilst feeling sick every single day. Now I look back and I think, wow, different mindset, different guy. But I'd done that for most of my career.